First, let me just say thank y'all for being here today. Appreciate y'all taking some time out of your day to come cover this story. I just want to start by saying that our hearts go out to the Villalone family, Margarita and her family. They are really struggling right now, as y'all can possibly imagine. So I just want them to know that our thoughts and our prayers are with them. And we are continuing to work on this case to bring them some answers, some closure, and hopefully some healing. As y'all are aware, in the early morning hours of Monday, August the 3rd, the lives of the Villalone family were forever changed when 5 individuals forced their way into their home, where under the pretense of a robbery, they terrorized the Villalone family and senselessly shot and killed 40-year-old Margarita Villalone, a wife and mother of 11. Over the past few days, Baytown homicide detectives, along with members of our Special Operations Unit, K-9 Unit, and members of our Patrol Bureau, have worked tirelessly to identify and apprehend the individuals responsible for the senseless and tragic murder of Miss Villalone. Today, I can announce that our detectives have been able to identify and apprehend at least 3 individuals that are responsible for this senseless murder. Those individuals are identified as 17-year-old Josue Lopez, 17-year-old Cain Lopez, and a 16-year-old male, all of Baytown. We've also learned during our investigation that these same individuals earlier in the night had committed another burglary at a residence in the same neighborhood. Shortly after the murder of Miss Villalone, they went to another residence where they attempted to do another home invasion. However, the residents of that home saw them, which resulted in them firing several rounds at that home. Striking that one of the homeowner at least one time, non-life-threatening injuries, fortunately. So last night, our detectives presented their findings to the Harris County District Attorney's Office Special Crime Division, at which time the charges were accepted on all 3 for their roles in the home invasion and subsequent murder of Margarita. Josue Lopez is charged with capital murder. Cain Lopez and the 16-year-old are charged with aggravated robbery. And all 3 suspects are currently in custody. There is one additional adult, a 19-year-old, that we are currently interviewing to determine what his role was in this crime. And there's also another 16-year-old that is suspected to be involved in this case. So we do still have some work to do. But I just wanted to make sure that the community understood that we are working and we are committed to bringing all of these individuals to justice. Since we began our investigation, we've had one mission, and that mission is to bring Margarita's killer to justice and some closure to the Villalone family. So while we hope that these arrests accomplish that, at least give them a little comfort and help them start their long road to healing, they do ask at this time for some privacy as they try to heal and deal with this tragic situation as a family. So with that said, I'll be able to take a few questions, hopefully answer some of those for you.
Okay, did you say they were from Baytown?
Yes, all of the suspects, the ones that we have in custody, the one that we're interviewing, and the 16-year-old that is not in custody, that's suspected of being involved, they are all of Baytown.
So did they know the victim that they...
Yes, there's some indication that they were familiar with this particular family, they knew them. Again, all of these suspects are from that same neighborhood, that same area over there. So, and most of them are close approximate age to what the teens in the home were. So you can imagine they probably all went to school together. They were kind of familiar with each other.
Did it seem like they had a beef with those teens that lived in that house, or?
No, as far as we can tell right now, the motive was just strictly a robbery. There was no issues between the suspects and the teens that lived in the home, or the parents, or anything like that. None of the individuals that lived in the home were involved in anything nefarious that we could tell. Again, it was just strictly a robbery. Yes?
Initially, that was a question, though, right? Whether the children of Miss Margarita may have known something or had something
Sure.
to do with this potential.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, anytime we have a home invasion like this, one of the first questions that we have to ask is, why this house? What brought them here? You know, you suspect things like on a burglary or a typical burglary, it's just random. But when people kick a door in with guns and start demanding money, you have to wonder, is there more to it than what meets the eye? And in this case, it just does not appear so. It was just, they knew this family, apparently didn't think that there would be any resistance met, and so that's why they chose this house.
Okay, the second incident, that was on Mississippi, right? Where the guy was shot in the leg?
Michigan,
Michigan, okay.
Michigan, yes.
Is that in the same area?
all in the same neighborhood. Yes, sir.
Do you have a block for the second situation on Michigan?
I believe it was the 3100 block, or 3400 block, I'd have to, yeah, 3400 block
Of Michigan.
of Michigan.
Are the suspects related? Sounds like a couple of them have the same last name.
Yes, so the Josue, the one that's charged with capital murder, and the outstanding 16-year-old that we have not charged, they are related. The other 16-year-old is also a relative of them two. The other two are not related.
So Cain Lopez is not related to Josue Lopez?
Correct.
Okay. What was stolen from the house?
From which one?
For Miss Margarita's home, and
Margarita's.
then the second, well, the
Yeah.
home before that, and the home after too.
Yeah.
We were talking three situations, right?
Three different crimes, all similar in nature. I don't want to get too much into the details of what was taken from Margarita's home, because we're still really investigating that. But from the initial burglary, the things that were stolen were TVs, jewelry, things of that nature.
Do you have a record of these suspects, like a past? Do they have a past, or?
Well, again, because of their ages, what I can tell you is that we're familiar with them. I don't really want to get into what their criminal histories look like, just simply because of their ages.
One of them, not sure which of the Lopez's right now, was out on bond for an aggravated robbery at the time, and I believe that was in Baytown as well. Is that correct?
Again, I don't want to get too much in what their criminal histories are, just simply because of their ages. If they do have a history and it occurred before they became an adult, I got to be real careful with that. I don't want to divulge any of that stuff.
Do you feel like there's other robberies or burglaries that you haven't figured out yet that they've been involved in?
It's very possible. It is very possible. I can tell you that they are at least one of them has been named as a suspect in a few other robberies that we've had. Again, I got to be real careful with that because of their ages. I don't want to go too much further than that. But other again than to say that we're familiar with them.
So is it safe to say they're a ring?
I guess you could characterize it as a ring. I think the better characterization would be just a crew of guys that they all run together. They grew up together. They're from the same neighborhood, just kind of involved in a lot of the same activity.
Also, all of them very young, sir, 16, 17 years old. Can you speak to that?
That, to be honest with you, is the scary part. They're 16 and 17 years old and shooting people. They're 16 and 17 years old and they're involved in robberies. They're involved in homicides. So that is the scary part. What our hope is that since we were able to get them in custody on this case, and if we can get them charged and get them convicted of these offenses, hopefully we can keep them off the streets and make the community a lot safer.